Hi everyone, welcome back to Talk Doula to Me. I am here with my sweet doula friends, Kelly and Kristen. I am Nicole, and we are your local doulas in your area of the Treasure Coast, Okeechobee, and a little bit beyond. Tonight, we are going to talk about things that come up a lot in conversations. Epidurals, what do I do with them? How do I get them? Is it safe? Is it not safe? How can my doula help me? We're also going to be talking about C-sections. Can a doula help me and serve me through a C-section? Is it scary? What are the benefits of that? Things along those lines. So let's jump right in. Kristen, take it away, girlfriend. You are going to be talking about how does a doula help with C-sections?
So something I hear a lot is, I want a doula, but I'm having a C-section. Having a C-section is not a contraindication for having a doula. And there's still so many ways that we can support you through that. I think it's beneficial, regardless of how you're birthing, to have someone to support you through those moments. So someone having a C-section, depending on if it's planned or if it's an unplanned C-section, it definitely makes a difference. And if someone is planning a C-section, if they want their doula to be in the OR with them, that is something that we can do. But if you don't want your doula in the OR with you, if you want your partner there, we'll still be there to support you before and after. And I think having someone to walk your partner through that especially can be really helpful. And C-sections don't always have to be scary. And even if you don't feel that maybe you're that nervous about having C-section, having someone to inform you, say like a gentle C-section, or give you those options that maybe you're not aware of so that you can bring them up to your OB. And someone to help you prepare for that, not just physically, but emotionally. And help you really process that birth story.
Yeah. So in the ER, let's say I'm birthing, I want to have twins. So I'm going to be birthing twins at this moment. So
yeah, you are
my doula, right? Yes, I am. So you are my doula, and you're in the ER with me, and holy cow, the party's about to start. What are you doing for me?
So during those moments, I think that emotional support is really key. Mm-hmm. So we'll be talking about the things that we talked about prenatally. We're going to go over those affirmations. We're going to make sure you're in that space that you need to be in to have the belly birth that you want to have.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you say options, there's different options that we can talk to like when I talk to my OB, what are one of them? Like what's one option that I might not know about if I have a planned C-section?
So you can request a gentle C-section, and part of that is having that immediate skin to skin with your baby. Even though it is a surgical procedure, we can still make it intimate. And I think that it's important to know that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's great. I'm so glad you brought that up. And then part of having a C-section, a supported, positive, amazing C-section, right? Because we're here for all births, is an epidural. So Kelly, jump in and tell us all about epidurals. Are there evidence-based websites we can go to learn? What's some of the experience you've had, things like that?
So yes, there are a lot of different resources online. I personally, I love facts and figures. So I like to look at different studies. So first of all, let me back up. I just want to say that, I think a lot of times people associate doulas with this kind of like crunchy birth, and they think like, well, if I want an epidural, I don't know that a doula is right for me. Not the case. We are happy to support you even if you opt for an epidural, and we're totally fine with that. We're here to support you in whatever choices you make. That is the role of a doula, is to support you and the birth that you want. And there are benefits to getting an epidural. The biggest one and most obvious, of course, being that it's effective pain relief. Studies have shown that out of all of the different pain relief options, getting an epidural is the most reliable and the most effective. It also carries less risk Then options such as narcotics through your IV or through injection. I had, so I can't have an epidural. I have spinal issues myself. So doctors laugh at me when I say I want an epidural. I tried using the narcotics, and you tend to build up a resistance really quickly. So like by the third injection, it wasn't doing anything other than making me dizzy. Narcotic injections also tend to have more breathing issues for baby. I just totally lost my train of thought what the other thing was with narcotics, but suffice it to say, they are riskier than an epidural. Getting an epidural can also, so there are some risks involved. It does have an increased risk of something called heavy motor blockade. That is where your limbs become so heavy that you have a hard time lifting them. And it can also lead to issues with low blood pressure, which then in turn leads to respiratory problems for the baby. So among cesareans, it is oftentimes, like, if there are respiratory issues, it's often because mom had an epidural. So that is just something to think about. But we can still, as a doula, we would be there for you. You can still move when you have an epidural. You just have to move in a very supported way, but we can still help you get into different positions. We can still, of course, we'll be there for emotional support. And so there are definitely still things that we can do to support you through your labor with an epidural.
Yeah, a lot of times I've heard, over and over in conversations with doulas and different trainings and things like that, when mom gets an epidural, that's when the party begins for us. That's when our job begins, because we are making sure that we are timing those positions to make sure mom is moving, mom is getting the peanut ball between her legs. She's opening up that pelvic, the pelvis and the pelvic bone structure, moving from side to side you can go on all fours safely with an epidural. Lots of people don't know that. So it's really, really important to have a doula to help you do that. Also help your partner inform you. And another thing is all the information that you said, Kelly, we're not doctors, we're not nurses, we're not giving medical advice. That's information that we have studied and researched on our own, which we can share with our birth people, where we can say, hey, would you like to be informed about C-sections? Would you like to be informed about epidurals? It's really important to get educated and be aware. Here's some websites. This is where I found the information. It's evidence-based. You can have that too. So we're not, here giving medical advice or saying you have to know all this, but we're a plethora of information where birth moms can pull all that from. So we're a huge resource in our community. So thank you so much for sharing that, Kelly. And thank you, Kristen, for sharing your experience tonight. Again, we are Nicole, Kristen, and Kelly. We are local doulas in your area. We love to help serve and provide information to our community. Like and subscribe, and we will talk to you soon. Bye.